In today's fast-paced business world, every organization faces a common challenge: how to stay competitive and relevant. This challenge has only one answer: embracing digital transformation. To optimize processes, streamline operation, and provide better customer experiences. But digital transformation is not just about implementing technology, it's about transforming the entire organization, practices, strategy, and culture. This is where Quidgest comes in. We are not just another software company. We are a global team of pioneers, innovators, and problem solvers who have believed for over 30 years that anything is possible. Our Genio platform combines advanced generative AI technology with a pattern model-driven software development approach that enables us to build intelligent systems that empower organizations to achieve their goals faster, more efficiently, and with greater precision. Our tested and proven software solutions adapt and continuously evolve to the ever-changing and complex needs of our clients, ensuring that they are always ahead of the curve, with new features compatible with different technologies and platforms, so clients can automate and optimize tasks and processes with fewer resources, but more quality, rigor, control, and customer satisfaction, focusing on what really matters: their core business. Whether you are a public entity, a multinational company, or a global multilateral institution, we have the expertise and the technology to take your operations to the next level. Embrace the power of generative AI engineering and drive digital transformation with future-ready software.
Hello, welcome in the next edition of Key Talks. Here with me, my name is Anna Muzalska. Here with me I have 𝗲𝗶𝗲𝗁. Welcome, Paulo. And today we'll talk a little bit about machine learning and its usage in the industry, banking, and insurance. And here we'll present some case studies and some situation where it was used. So, Paulo, thank you very much for accepting my invitation to be here today. I'm really looking forward to hearing your stories and your opinions about machine learning and its application in financial services.
Thank you, Anna, for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here. So, some notes about me. I'm more than 30 years in experience as a provider and consultant in insurance company and pension funds. I'm strong experience in design, developing, and support application in the insurance market. I've been made projects in Europe, Latin America, and I'm passionate for innovation. So, for me, to talk about this kind of things is a very profound pleasure to be here. Thank you.
It's great to have here and to hear from you. So a little bit about me. My name is, as I mentioned, Anna Muzalska. I'm here coordinator of the Banking, Insurance and Financial Services Department in Quidgest. It's one of 12 departments of our company, and it's specifically focused on the financial sector solutions. Initially, our clients were only the financial institutions, but recently, with the increased usage of some solutions that, for instance, anti-money laundering is a good example. Initially, it was very banking solution, very financial industry solution. And right now, almost every big company has to have some anti-money laundering procedures in place. So we grow a lot our clientele base with this shift. I'm Polish. I graduated from Warsaw School of Economics in quantitative methods in economics and finance and banking. I came to Portugal in 2005 as an Erasmus student for 6 months, and I overstayed my welcome because 17 years later and last 15 years, I'm working in IT solution development, and I participated in different projects in ERPs, in production management, in quality, accounting. But the last 10 years, I'm mainly focused on helping our clients with regulatory challenges and IT usage to overcome them. So that's brief description of our background. And right now we will a little bit introduce the topics that later will a little bit profound. Here some case studies of the usage of machine learning in the financial sector. In my case, I'll be a little bit talking about the usage of machine learning in anti-money laundering process, and tell you a bit about our story with the concrete example. And later, Paolo also will profound the usage of this technology in the insurance industry.
Yeah.
So we started our journey with the anti-money laundering. Initially with the more traditional project, the rule-based solution of AML many years ago, will be more than 10. However, we noticed that there are some issues and some situations with the rule-based solutions, because they are rule-based. They already have predefined set of characteristics that they are looking for in the data to tackle possible cases of money laundering. So basically, was the first problem with those kind of challenge with those kind of solutions. We managed to work it a little bit, as well as the high rates of false positive. That is also a huge problem with those kind of solutions. With possibility of calibration of our solution, and here we are talking about always predefined rules that later we can configure and parameterize depending on the risk of the client and depending on the population of the client. So the clients with low risk, they can have a little bit less stricter rules, and the high risk clients, they are really with strict rules. Of course, all these rules have to be within the legislation, because the legislator here defines many of those rules, and they have to be compliant. There is no choice about this. But there we noticed that yes, in the end we can make it better. So having the base rule solution, we can put there a layer on the top of it with the machine learning. When we use the data that is our solution using, when we use the alerts that were generated, and based with this information, we define the number and probability of the alerts that could be true positives. So probably they need a little bit more carefully analyzed by the technician, anti-money laundering technician. So the first thing was the prioritization of the alerts generating, taking into account the risk of being true money laundering. And here we encounter some challenges. First thing was the data was not balanced. So we need to do some rebalancing techniques to have the representative data, taking into account that, of course, we don't have too much true positives, and we don't want to have much true positives because that's the money laundering. So this was the first challenge that we encounter. And we also used the knowledge. We thought about enhancing the knowledge of the people that were analyzing the alerts, and using the decision they took on alerts, even in the end, if the alerts was not considered true positive. However, if they put it as a risky alert, as something that probably was, they thought was money laundering, so we also take into account into our model this information. So try to put the knowledge of the know-how of the technician, of the analyst, into the model. And we also do the same thing about the transactions, but of course we didn't want to generate too many transactions, so we put the first step to cut the transactions that were not interesting. And in the end, we managed to identify 88% as the false positives. Here, of course, it always depends on the risk aversion of the client and the decision of the client what kind of risk, if they want to avoid exceptional risking, or if they want to play it very safe and go with the more strict rules. And in the last usage, when we applied the machine learning, were the outliners. Of course, later it was configurable depending on the risk of the client, but outliners, basically we catch any behavior that was not standard behavior. It does not mean that it was money laundering. It does not mean that it was something that we had to be very worried about. However, it was something that was strange enough to be analyzed by analysts and having some attention drawn to those situations. But as I said, later it can be adjusted, taking into account that clients with for instance, low risk profile does not need so strict rules as the risky clients. So this was very brief description of what we do. It was a few months of work, so it was just to sum up. It is only one of the possible solutions of machine learning in banking. There are much more. Also in the in the anti-money laundering, because you can use it also for client screening, for risk definition. So the lack of the possibilities here is it's really huge. However, this was our experience, recent experience that we brought here. And Paolo, I know that you also have here some examples that you would like to talk about, but here more focused on the insurance industry.
Insurance industry.
And I believe we can later check how similar or how different those industries are, and where we can see some synergies or differences. So go on.
Okay, thank you, Anna. I have a note here. According to the recent survey, 67% of the company already use somewhat machine learning in their internal process. So it's a principle that we can use in a lot of areas. But in order to laundry money, yes, in insurance we have the same issues. However, not so important than in bank, for sure. But in insurance, we can assist in a lot of investment in machine learning and AI systems, mainly in 3 different areas. First of all, in subscriptions. That means when the client wants to make insurance, we already have in the market and some very good experience with machine learning to rate the value of the loss of insurance to make a price, a personalized price. So we can talk about, for instance, we have systems that you can make a move from your room, and the system automatically detect what kind of things that you have, a TV, a table, and so on, and can automatically also give an estimate of the capital to make a price, a fair price. I'm also a CIO from in cie_hez_, so it's a French insurance company. I'm working here in Portugal, and we just 1 year ago installing a system to make underwriting, automatically underwriting for the people. That means it's a system from our reinsurance. We join with our sales portal that with the lot of characteristics of the person that we want to insure, give us a price automatically. And in this case allows, for instance, normally a life insurance takes 4-5 medium days to issue a policy. In this case, we can have this in minutes or hours to give a fair price to the client. So, but it's case in the subscriptions, and also a lot of system in claims, adjustment claims. In this case, is particularly important for non-life products. That means autos, car, homes, and so on. And we have a lot of system, for instance, auto glass replacement. There are insurtech that have a system with a photo, give you automatically if for fraud detection, if they really replace the auto glass, if the glass can be fixed or must be removed, and so on and so on. With 2 photos, they can automatically give a decision to pay or not pay. Another important application in this case is for health expenses. There are systems with machine learning also that with the expenses sent by the client automatically recognize that expenses can be is an expense normally in this kind of disease for first time, and if these expenses can be allow in the terms of the policy and so on. So in this case, they take an automatic decision if the company must pay or not pay the expense to the client directly. The third area that I see a lot of investment in machine learning is more internally in the insurance company. That means there's implementation of chatbots with machine learning also, not RPA only, with machine learning, to give a response automatic to the client. It's one of the issues that every insurance company faces. It's how to respond to the client with rapidly and efficiency. Chatbots can be the solution. Another issue is the email. The email is it's a huge problem in the insurance company because they receive thousands of emails sent by the clients, sent by the agents, everyone to. They want to information. They have doubts, and so on and so on. So we also see some system based once again machine learning to automatically respond to that email. I know very well one of them that they respond, but first they collect all the historical data and see the questions and the answers. Then the second phase, they took the email from the client, they create a response and send to the technical guy. Well, they have that answer. I believe that is the response correctly. The technical guide is yes or not, okay, or fix. And with that, the machine learn, the AI, they learn. And the second and the third one, they don't ask to the technical guy, automatically have the response because the machine have learned with the technical guy. So it's a very, very amazing system that we have in the market. And I have the pleasure to see all of them as a AFIP, as a InsurTech member in AFIP.
It's very interesting. What you are talking here, I heard some similarities. Right now, everybody is talking about ChatGPT. Do you think that it will be something that will be used, for instance, in the example when you talk about replying to the client, you describe a little bit, as I understand, but I'm also not an expert in how the ChatGPT works. But as far as I understand, it's a little bit the logic of the chat itself, that learning with the replying and learning with the replies and context we are creating.
Yes.
And do you think it will be used, like widely used in the industry?
Yes, I have no doubt that will be used. First, at this moment, already some insurance company, they use it, but for internally, to make, for instance, internal documentation, internal presentation. Even for instance, my IT team use it to improve their development. So in this case, they already use it. For external, I believe the ChatGPT is a baby. A baby with a lot of knowledge, some right, some wrong. And as a child, now we must put the ethical part, the principles in the ChatGPT to only respond what is correct and the best way, and so on and so on. So I believe strongly that we are facing a emerging new area, for sure. When this technology can spread and use it externally, I think a few years it will be a reality in place.
But yes, you're right about this. And here, in the machine learning, sometimes it's not exactly the same issue, but we also sometimes face the problem of the data that might be biased. And of course, the machine is learning with the data, but we have to be careful to feed it with unbiased data, that later we don't have a replies that is unacceptable to be given, or decision that is based on the condition that is not allowed to be based. So yes, there's also an issue that sometimes occurs in the machine learning when we don't have attention for those type of analysis.
For sure, it's the same challenge. Yeah.
And what would you say they are main gains of those application, of those examples that you mentioned here of application, the machine learning and AI in the sector? Just name few.
Yes, the more simple way is efficiency. But I also believe that we gain another issue. Is make the life of the people, insurance technical guys, more happy. Yes, I believe that system like AI, machine learn, can help us in this, because we have a lot of people doing every time, every day, the same thing, things that are boring. And the human people don't do that. I like very much philosophy. Okay, so we have oldest philosophy named cie~{{ภิ}H𝗁}, and one of the asking to him, what is the human society in the future? And their response, I'm a younger guy in this time, and he responds, in the future, machines should make all the work for the human race, and the human race make the two things that the machine don't do anytime: dreaming and heart. So I believe in this life.
Yes, I here have to admit that all the way that the Quidgest was created and working, here not even mentioning the part of the financial industry, but all the way that we work is made by the platform that already have 30 years, where we automatically generate the code.
Genius.
Genius, exactly.
Yes, yes.
And it's taking those parts of the repetitive work when you have to just copy paste of the text, and in our work we can focus of modeling, of defining the rules, not writing the code line by line. And it's really give a joy to the work and to the days, because you feel that you are doing on the one hand something interesting, you can see the result of your work, but on the other hand you don't have to do all the boring stuff you have to write many lines. That it's our platform writing it for
make
for
the
us.
people happy.
Yes, it's true. What I also find in our case, when we were, what I liked as my personal experience here, maybe even more, it was the way to see the models being able to learn, and it's not like one-time solution. I mean, they are growing with the data. They are growing with what you feed them. You could almost like a baby. You mentioned baby. You can see it grow. See it getting better with better statistics, with better. And yes, you feel that you make something better, something growing. And I found this part of the continuous learning really exciting. However, there are challenges.
Yeah.
It was not always also so great. I already mentioned the question of the data balance. I believe also the problem, we didn't have it that much, because in our case we're based on the data that we already mastered, because it's our solution. We already had to have the data because of the even legislation. This data is mandatory to have on the levels of anti-money laundering. So as we were quite parity in the data, we didn't have it that much, but the problem is also the data availability and data quality, at least in general in the industry as far as machine learning is concerned. I don't know if you have any experience with...
Yes, and I agree with you, it's a challenge. If you see the majority of insurance companies, they have legacy systems. So the quantity of data is not the problem, the quality is the problem. Yes, we already see systems that try to fix the data, growing the quality of them, but it is always a challenge to data quality. The other challenge that we face now is also to have technical guys with experience and knowledge in that areas, the machine learning. Yes, they studying a lot of that things. We have younger people with a lot of knowledge in the head, but they don't know the business yet, and is a challenge.
Yes.
This moment.
This is not only, I would say, not only the issue of the machine learning, what you mentioned. I see it all sometimes in other projects, that many times any IT technology projects are the functional part and technical part are treated as separated, and they are not. They are completely interrelated. If you don't understand, of course, you have specialists in one part in the other part, but you also have to have someone that understands both of them, at least on the more macro level, and can make it work together. And sometimes I've seen in the market the implementation fail because of the lack of this integration and this interaction. And also it's important as far, sorry.
No, just to mention, I think another challenge for machine learning, the AI projects, is the people. Sometimes I see every day in the insurance, in the market, the people that are working the claims department and the underwriting department and so on. They have a lot of experience. They are usual to control and check everything is okay and so on and so on. So when you bring machine learning system with AI, the system must take decisions. And sometimes the people don't are prepared to give the decision to an IT system and computer solution. So we also have a lot of work to do internally in the insurance, I know, the insurance, to bring the people to the machine learning and the AI concepts also.
Yes, and to give that kind of share the decision with AI and not thinking about controlling everything
Yes.
themselves. Yeah, it's true. But I also believe it will be a process, and I can see, at least in more banking approach, I can see the change, for instance, in the regulators and the way that those technologies are approached. Because initially, when we started, there was it was quite. I mean, machine learning is not emerging technology. It starts being used more recently because itself it's quite old. But those boom with using it started a few years ago, and at that time there was not too much information and guidelines from the regulatory bodies. We participated in the first edition of FinLab. I don't know if you know it's initiative with the three regulators, with ASF, with insurances, the Bank of Portugal, and the CMVM for financial markets. And we have opportunities because, of course, they are always open to discuss with us the doubts, our doubts, or the way I want to have their feedback on innovation. But this was really nice initiative because we could sit with them, three of them, at the same table, and discuss exactly what we're discussing with the machine learning and AML. It was really great opportunity to know their concerns, because in the end they are responsible for maintaining this whole system, and we are implementing something that in the end does not have so many case studies or so many proofs of use.
Yes.
But we can see that right now it's also changing with the new guidelines from the AFTF or new Anti-Money Laundering Directive 4 of the European Union, and that they start to give some indication and guidelines how to proceed with those technologies, how to implement them, and it's also important to. But as I said, it's a process with all the cases for us to start feeling everyone okay using it and having them well trained and well behaved, so we can confine of their decision, and we can just say yes, he said it. It's good decision. It's what we wanted.
Yes, I see. Yes, the regulator, they have a huge responsibility, and I understand all the caution that they must have, for sure. However, the ways I see, they should implement measures more quickly. Okay, but I understand the problem is the technology is so fast, and put difficult to the regulators.
Yes.
So I see sometimes they already have sandbox system to test, and I think is an excellent idea, because in that way the regulator can test the solution, the system, and give the improvement of them. However, but also, I believe machine learning can be a huge tool for them to audit, because in the same way that, for instance, we have a system that how to say, prevent policy cancellation through customer behavior. In the same way, that kind of system can apply to the insurance data and detect some behaviors from insurance company that is not allowed in the fast way, with a lot more data than reports and data reports and so on.
Yes, it's true, and it's also true that regulators have an access to much more data than institutions have. And it's when you mention sandboxes, would be great if there would be possibility, for instance, to have the anonymized data for learning for the industry, because of the data protection. Of course, you cannot have the real one with the person's identification, but we are talking about here anonymized data.
For sure.
In the control of the regulators, but making sandboxes where institutions, where providers can train their algorithms, they train their model, check the probability and the quality of their models, and this will be because they have it's true, they have the access to the information we don't.
Yes, for sure.
And what do you think will happen now? What are the, I don't know, trends, your expectations, where we will go with AI? Will the AI replace the people in the in the companies?
Yes, it's all the people have that kind of discussion. However, once again, in my opinion, that system become to do an happy life to the technical, insurance technical or bank technical. So, because the machine learning system, AI system, can take decision that and remove from the human people the activities boring, and the people that exist today, I think they can have a more happy life, take another kind of decision more complex, maybe more passionate, more more human. Okay, because in the end, the machine learning, the AI system don't have the sentimentals behaviors, don't have passional behaviors, and we should have also in our today's life. So I think the people can have a more life quality and a more happy life with that kind of systems.
I think it's very, very optimistic, and
Yes.
I believe we can end with this this statement, because I don't think we can find a better ending. So yes, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for this interesting conversation. I hope that we'll continue exchanging our experiences, ideas, and exploring the topics together. So thank you very much.
It was a pleasure to be here. Okay.
And also, I would invite our viewers for a small presentation. Thank you. So let's talk a little bit about the machine learning enhancing AML example. Here we have some pains and challenges that the industry is facing, especially when AML is concerned. So basically, in recent years, we have seen a lot of changes for banks, but the whole financial sector. And with those changes, that on the level of the crisis that came, on the level of the technological changes, they also caused a certain increase in supervision and regulation. Nowadays, we can see the laws, anti-money laundering laws changing as the financial crimes and money laundering are changing and increasing. So they are becoming more and more sophisticated and difficult to detect, and the supervisors and regulators have to evolve with those changes to accompany the possible crimes. Also, the new products like digital currencies and online payments system, mobile banking facilitates those type of crimes when there is not that much traceability and a lot of anonymous transactions and anonymous person taking a part in the process. Main pains of the compliance itself, it pays from the regulations, so clearly it's regulatory pressure. It's a cost of the compliance itself, but also cost of the declining revenues, huge penalties and loss of reputation that endangers the sector. We can hear all the time the news about the institutions that were being fined for not complying with all parts of anti-money laundering or letting skip some corruption and some not legal situations. But also, as I mentioned, whole transactions and fraud and cybercrimes increase its complexity, and we try to maximize the efficiency and effectiveness of the process. Here, it's large help technology and artificial intelligence, machine learning that we talk today about. Trying to simplify the complex, obtained data and provide auditable evidences. This is very important part of anti-money laundering. It's important to have the evidences of the process, of the data, of the procedures. It's very evidence-based process. And we want, as mentioned earlier, avoid the excessive de-risking because it also has its cost, and it's very important to keep the process optimized and tuning. Here, as we talked today, automation is the key, and only through the automation can we get to the digital transformation. Let's talk a little bit first about rule-based solution. We have solutions that tackles all the part of anti-money laundering. It's integrated solution. It has everything since client screening, monitoring, all audits, notification, workflows that define alerts, report, and training. And what's important that we already mentioned it in our talk, the calibration of the solution. So this is rules-based solution. It has its set of rules. However, even in this situation, it is possible to define parameters for type of the risk or for type of population, to calibrate the number of alerts and to simulate how, for instance, how some change in parameterization will result in the number of alerts generated. However, it has to be within the threshold defined by the regulators. And we can see different steps of the process, starting with client screening against the list, the watch, sanctions, politically exposed, and all the information related with the client and risk of the client. The identification and data requirements for the client. Strong part of anti-money laundering is part of Know Your Customer. You have to be sure that you have all the updated information, all updated data, all updated documents about the client, and the procedures to verify or periodical information updates, or documents when they are getting to extinct, and you have to get the new ID or new passport or whatever documentation was required. Part of transaction monitoring here, the question of treatment false positive, that you can play by calibration simulations, pattern identification in real time, and possibility to adjust for necessity for population type, because each entity, each institution has its own client set, and it's important to application being able to be adjusted of the needs of the defined client, and not just any institution. Part of alerts, of course, that's the whole point of the process of the screening and monitoring, to generate alert that can be later prioritized. They have their own workflow, and you can also control them through notification and SLEs, and in general cost control relating the whole process of analyzing, because it's the cost we want to cut. And once again, audits and report, and we are talking about here statistical report, regulatory report, procedures, risk factor. Once again, AML, it's evidence-based question. We have to have evidence of every step of the process that we are executing, and the solutions provide that options. And in the end, it's intuitive and flexible solutions, because the most important part is to be easy use and automation, and not adding work through the complex procedures or complex workflows. This was the rule-based solution, and on the top of that we have an engine of machine learning that is based on the data that is already provided by and dealt in with our solutions, with the functionalities and features we already discussed. And in the case of this engine, here of course the main objective is, on the one hand, false positive reduction, but the true objective is to pinpoint true positives. You want to minimize the possibility of true positive not being recognized much more than reduce the false positive, although this is the final outcome of the process. And during our studies and our implementation, for instance, here's an example of one of the examples, and we were able to define 88% of the process as false positives, and only 12% of the alerts as the alerts that required more scrutiny and contain a subset of true positive. So just to structure it a little bit, those are four, I would say, pillars of our machine learning journey in anti-money laundering. So first, prioritization, learn from past alerts and decision, and prioritize the alerts that are being generated, and being probability of being true positive, and support the user decision. Here we needed to classify and train the model with the real bank information, and use those models to predict new cases. The machine learning, it's one part, it's the process and the outcome. However, it's very important in the financial sector to justify the outcome. We cannot say that this is not money laundering because not. We have to say why, and it has to be understandable by the person. It should have more natural language explanation. Of course, you control the variation and the data, and it should be unbiased, as we mentioned earlier in our talk, unbiased data that you are feeding your model. However, in general, the machine learning is a little bit black box solution. These quite complex models behind it. So we need also the way to interpret them and explain why the model took the decision and what were the parameters that oblige the model to decide. And the last part, a little bit extra added, it's the outliners. Here, before this, we were talking more about cutting out false positives and supporting decision of the user in order to proceed with anti-money laundering procedures and verification checks. Here, in the terms of outliner, we are talking a little bit different situation. Here we are finding in our data, in our transactions, some strange behaviors. Strange transactions, strange behaviors can be strange for the client, can be strange for client type, can be strange for the bank itself. So basically we are trying to find something that doesn't fit. It does not mean that it's money laundering. However, as we discussed earlier, a little bit deficiency and fault of the rules-based solutions is that it only catches the things we already know that are money laundering. So basically, the legislation and the banks and the rule-based solutions are responding to the situation that were already verified and or imagined. Here we can find situation that we did not imagine that can be and still can be money laundering, and tackle them and create the alerts to discover much more earlier and much more easier the situation where money laundering has place. So thank you very much for being with us today. It was really great to have you, and if you have any doubts or questions, feel free to contact us. Thank you very much.